I often do this. Usually underneath a goat sallow, such as this. By looking up against a fairly bright sky, looking up through the canopy and silhouette in the leaves, then you can find the caterpillars of purple emperors. And I've come up here for the first time in weeks actually to check on the progress or development or absence of a few purple emperor larvae which I did leave up here. I didn't take them all home, but I wished I had done now. Although saying that, I've lost a couple of the larvae that I had at home through various reasons. There's lots of reasons why we lose caterpillars. That's why butterflies and moths generally lay lots of eggs. It's just to ensure that one or two make it through to adulthood. And while it's disappointing that I've failed to locate these 2 or 3 purple emperor larvae, which I know should be here, they aren't, because I've had a good look. I've had some encouragement because I've found 2 more, and they're here, and they're within a foot of each other on separate branches. I'll try and hold this as steady as possible because it is breezy today. But I did find this one completely by accident, because on this small branch on which this larva rests, and if you can't see the larva, it's on the top right leaf of those closest to the camera. It's right on the edge of that leaf where that dead bit of leaf is. It's not sat looking down the leaf with the back end of the caterpillar at the tip of the leaf, which is the natural sort of order of things. But I didn't see this caterpillar. I didn't particularly look on this branch for this caterpillar because I could see no feeding signs typical of purple emperor larvae of this age. And it seems very well settled. There is a silken pad there, but there's no evidence of this caterpillar having eaten. It is 3rd instar, so L3 as we call them, but this is just a chance find, as was the other one, which is resting in the typical purple emperor manner, just a foot away from this one. Despite failing to find, and well, in what looks very much like we've lost at least 2 or 3, it's nice to find 2 which I'd missed a few weeks ago when I was looking for eggs and larvae. And here is that larva, still active, having a look around. I'm doing my best to hold this steady, but it's difficult. The ones I have at home are also 3rd instar like this, and not particularly active either. Despite the warm temperatures, I have managed to keep them at 3rd instar, and they are exactly the same stage and size as this one. Now adding to his pad of silk. But even though it's obviously relocated to this leaf recently, it's made no attempt to feed. In length, this one is probably a good 11 millimeters. That's a super view. And they aren't an easy find, no matter how they rest on the leaf. Sometimes they can be anywhere on the leaf edge, pointing inwards towards the midrib at an angle, but typically they will be along the midrib, facing inwards. Look at him. But you can see that there's a good pad of silk there. Excellent. And here's the other one, just in the centre of the screen, lying typically along the midrib, facing inwards from the tip of the leaf. And this caterpillar is slightly smaller. This is probably only 10 mil, so it's certainly 1 to 2 mil smaller than the other one we've just looked at. And this one has fed in this area. There are feeding signs. In fact, you can just see a chunk out of the right hand side of that leaf where this one has fed at some time, but they seem to be slackening off their feeding habits, at least the ones I have at home. And from the evidence I can see in front of me, a lot of the feeding that are on the adjacent leaves are old. You can tell that because where they're fed, the leaf sort of calluses over and goes brown. But this one is another nice find. I'm still looking up skywards. I'm convinced that on this tree there are still more purple emperor larvae waiting to be found. I'm certain of it. And we're still at the time of year, of course, with leaves on the trees, so you can search for purple emperor larvae by looking for the sort of telltale feeding signs, which are very much similar to this. And there will be several such little nicks taken out, or a series of nicks where the caterpillar has fed 2 or 3 times at the same spot. But also several leaves on a small branch will have this kind of feeding signs on it. And there are lots of leaves showing this kind of damage. To find 2 more L3 larvae is, well, quite unexpected. The downside is that I know that we've lost some larvae. They don't go terrific distances, they can move quite a bit, but from where the egg is laid to where you find the larvae sort of overwintering is really more than a metre or so. How many more remain on here? And thankfully the butterfly had a marvellous year. Like all butterflies did, there isn't a single species of butterfly that I can think of that had a worse year than in 2024. And that's a good thing, it's a thing to celebrate. And it's been nice that finding purple emperors here in this part of Sherwood Forest has been relatively easy. The adults still remain elusive. Who would think that it's easier to find a larva of about 5 to 12 millimeters long, or even the egg? You can find far more eggs than you'll ever see, adults at least here. Let's hope butterfly has another good year in 2026.